If you want to start a gaming channel on YouTube, be not only to pursue your passion, but also to make money from my time, you think it's too hard, that you've missed the timing, or that there are too many people already doing this kind of channel, then this video is for you. We're going to analyze some channels, look at metrics, and there will also be some extra content here. The mind map for how to start a gaming channel in 2025. Is it too late? Why do so many channels fail? How to get noticed in 4 steps. Unedited gameplay. The right video length. Is it short? Is it long? What's the ideal length? Keeping up with trends. Rodrigo, how do I download this mind map? I'll explain during this video. Okay? And before we start, leave a comment below. Are you a gamer? Do you think that besides your passion, you could actually make money from it? Do you want to do this? Also, do you already have a YouTube channel? Maybe you already have a gaming channel, but you're not making money from it. Do you want some guidance? All right. This video is for you too. Leave a comment below. I brought in an American expert who has already surpassed the coveted mark of over 100,000 subscribers. He already makes a living from this, so he put together a guide. I'm going to comment on this guide. Since I used to have 10 channels, now I have 12, 9 of which are monetized in Portuguese, English, Spanish, and German. I mentioned this in other videos, but I'm also going to talk about it in this video here. So let's get right to it. 3, 2, 1, go!
YouTube is already 20 years old. So, is it still possible to start a gaming channel these days and get discovered, even with so many established creators out there? No? Anyway, see you later. Thanks for watching. Obviously, I was just kidding. The answer is, it's not too late to start a channel. There are channels being created right now as you watch this video. And a year from now, they probably have 10,000 or even 100,000 subscribers. The fact is, most new gaming channels fail not because of too much competition, but because, to be blunt, their videos or channels just aren't good. And I say this from personal experience. My first channel was objectively very bad. And even after everything I learned from that channel, I still made mistakes. But I know that if I started from scratch today, with everything I know now, things would be much easier for me. And I want to share some of that with you so you don't waste months or years of your life like I did.
One interesting thing he's saying here is this. First, you think your content is good. You think you're doing the same things as the other channels you watch. But in reality, if the guy is having success, has an engaged community, is growing, it's probably not that your content is as good as his. Because if it were, over time, you would have that too obviously, not in a day, a week, or a month, right? But if a few months go by and you're not growing while the other guy keeps growing, even creating other channels and growing, most of the time, almost certainly, it's a matter of your content quality. Another very important point he mentioned is that every time you start a new channel, it's easier because you've already learned. You know how to make a better thumbnail. You know how to choose better topics. You know how to write better titles. Your productivity increases because you already know how to record. You already have the knack for editing, or you've already outsourced the editing. In short, starting over, even if you abandon one channel and move on to the next, which I've done before, or if you have a channel that's monetizing and growing well and you move on to the next one, there's no doubt the next one has every chance to be even better and grow even more.
Today, we're going to break this down into 4 different stages. And the first one is a question we get a lot. How do you stand out? The truth is, yes, most gaming channels really do fail. And it's not because people are bad at games. There are many reasons why a channel might fail. But what I see most often is that people think like players and not necessarily like creators. A big mistake you can make is simply jumping from game to game that you personally like without considering the community you're trying to build on YouTube. I like Subnautica and I like Balatro, and both of these games are a lot of fun, but they're also very different. Playing them both on a single YouTube channel would be kind of weird because I'd have to play each one in a completely different way. You should in fact switch games eventually, and we'll talk about that, but if you do switch, at least choose games that are in the same category. That's because secondly, you should develop a unique and distinctive style. Let's look at an example. Gray still plays. Now, Gray doesn't play games the normal way. All of these videos focus on exploring different mechanics and creating varied challenges. The more absurd, the better. As you can see, There are many different games on this channel, and they also jump from one genre to another, but they all still have something in common. In the case of Gray Still Plays, all the games are carefully chosen because they allow for unique ways of playing. If you do Mario game speedruns, you do Mario game speed. That's it. You can play any Mario game, but you're a Mario game speedrunner. If you make funny videos by playing the wrong way, you need a game that's open enough to let you experiment with it.
That's very important. That's very important. I've seen a lot of people who, when choosing a game, just play because they love it. Of course, you have to choose one you love because otherwise it gets boring. But you also have to pick a game that has a big community. It could be a game that's trending right now. That's actually pretty interesting. So I don't know. I'll play GTA just as an example. So that's one. It's trending. Actually, it always has been and never really stopped. But anyway, then when you want to switch to another game, you can switch to another GTA, obviously, but maybe you should switch to another game that's similar to GTA. If you're playing a shooter game, for example, right? Back in my day, it was Counter-Strike, for instance. And then you move on from there. So now I want to play Call of Duty, for example. Then suddenly I started liking Fortnite. Anyway, these are all shooter games. So they're in the same category. You attract the same community. Of course, within these games, there are separate gaming communities, but you have a large community that are games, right? Shooting, you get what I mean? Now, if you go and jump around, oh, I want to play Mario, then I'll play, I don't know, Final Fantasy, then I'll play Resident Evil, now I'll play GTA. You don't add value, you don't build communities, you know? Now, for example, you could do something like games from the 80s, for example, or games from old consoles like Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, then that's fine. In that case, you can even attract a community of people who like classic games, old games, and that's okay. So you already get the idea of not jumping from category to category.
In the end, what kind of gamer are you? Are you actually good at games? Maybe you should consider a CD-ROM channel. Or do you like games with lots of mods? That's what Gray Still Plays does. Every time I crash my car, it gets bigger in GTA. That's not a game mechanic. It's something the modders allowed Gray to do, which is perfect for a YouTube video. And that brings me to the third way new channels are standing out. They mix personality with format. If the audience is watching your channel because of the game you're playing, you're probably doing something wrong. They should be watching for the way you play or the way you approach the game. Even if you're doing things like game reviews and lots of creators are in that space trying to be the first to have the best analysis, there's a way to do it. Let's take a look at Spider-Cat Game. This is the perfect example of a channel that doesn't overdo it to try to stand out, right? Overall, the creator is very laid back, charismatic, and professional. What sets the channel apart is the insightful commentary. Each video follows a predictable and reliable structure. There's the introduction, overview, gameplay analysis, and final thoughts. This way, the channel is easy to follow, and viewers know exactly what to expect when something new comes out on the channel. Viewers aren't coming to the channel just for the gameplay. They're here for a very specific value proposition, which is to discover new games on their own. Splattercat acts as a curator, offering insights, recommendations, and first impressions. And he has worked hard to become a trusted source in the community. So for channels like this, it's all about being consistent and providing reliable and honest feedback. If you're going to review games on YouTube, the focus should be on being authentic and giving your true opinion, because that's why people watch YouTubers talk about games.
That's very important, and it applies to any channel. In the case of games, which is entertainment, you'll be playing a game that other YouTubers will also be playing. So why would someone watch you play instead of watching other people play, for example? Is it because you have great skill? That could be it. Do you have a strong personality? That could be it too. Now, often people come for a video for the title or something specific in the analysis, but then they stay because of you. On my other channels, it really depends, because there's a news channel, there's a channel where I host, there's a channel where I don't host, there's a channel where I don't appear, but it's my voice, there's a channel where it's me, but it's my avatar, my clone, and so on. And there are channels like this one where I talk about money, so a lot of times you're here not because I'm funny, but because I give advice on how you can make money. I have already monetized 9 YouTube channels. I speak Portuguese, English, Spanish, and German. So I know how to do this. People aren't here because I have an amazing personality, but because I speak seriously. I talk about money, I have results. Some channels are new, others have more results. Other people don't even know I have them, but I often show here on YouTube how I do it and how much I earn in some videos. And that's why I end up building some authority. And of course, I keep improving over time. So there are channels that will require a lot of your personality. And there are channels where, of course, personality is always good. But when you talk about money, it's often about the results of your investments. It's about time, it's about persistence, it's about how long you've been creating content and putting your own skin in the game, right? Because you're actually putting your own money on the line. In my case here, when I recommend tools like HEYGEN or ELEVENLABS, which are the main tools I use, I show myself using them both on my channels and to my mentees. I say, look, on this channel, I use it and I earn this much. So that's why it gives you a certain credibility. But personality, if you're funny, if you're good looking, that helps. But it's not absolutely essential. In the case of gamers, though, it's very important.
They don't want to hear from a company that was paid a fortune to review the game. They want to hear from an ordinary person who spent their own money and thought, look, these are my opinions about the game, and I really want to share them with you before you spend your own money. Anyway, let's move on to the second part. It's time to talk about shorts, because we're always being asked about shorts now, and I want to clear up a few things. Should I use shorts? Do shorts really help? Are shorts going to kill the views on my long-form videos? The problem is that many creators aren't using shorts the right way. They only see shorts as a shortcut to grow. Their growth is measured only by the increase in subscriber count. Other creators who make amazing content simply ignore shorts, thinking they don't make any money anyway. So why bother? The truth is that shorts are another platform within YouTube itself. And if you choose to use them and do it the right way, they can be amazing for your overall reach on YouTube. In my opinion, shorts make starting out on YouTube easier. And here's why I think you should use them. Starting a YouTube channel is really exhausting because you're not just learning everything about YouTube. You also need to be good at making videos right from the start, editing, filming, and maybe even taking care of the lighting if you appear on camera. You need to have quality audio. There's so much to worry about, and you might spend an entire week making your first long-form video. And nothing is worse than uploading that video, waiting another week, 2 weeks, a month, and just seeing that it gets no views. That will lead you to burn out really quickly and make it impossible to stay consistent. But if you start on YouTube by making shorts and keep them relatively brief, under 30 seconds, a minute, then your experience will be different. In the same week you would spend making a long-form video, you could probably make 5 or even a dozen YouTube shorts. You can upload these shorts much faster than long videos, and the shorts discovery algorithm is a completely different beast from the long-form video algorithms we have on the platform. Even with 0 subscribers, if you upload a few shorts, YouTube will eventually test them with an audience. If they perform well, YouTube will show them to more people over time.
I recently made a video with a short strategy that I've already started to implement, but I've already shown results from other people who are using this strategy. And basically it's like this. The best solution, the best strategy is to use all the tools that YouTube gives you. So you need to have a strategy for long form videos, a strategy for shorts, and a strategy for live streams. If you can do 1 live stream per week, make 3 long form videos per week, and post at least 1 short per day, or post 2 to 3 shorts on the days when you don't have a long video. So for example, on Monday you post a long video, or better yet, on Monday you do a live stream, Tuesday you post a long video, Wednesday you post 3 shorts, Thursday a long video, Friday 3 shorts, Saturday a long video, Sunday 3 shorts, and then Monday another live stream. So mixing things up definitely works better because there are 3 algorithms, 3 different audiences, and you get a combined total of views and reach from all 3 tools. And if YouTube is launching a tool, it wants you to use all of them.
It starts to grow like a snowball. You'll get a lot of feedback when you post these videos, and it's rewarding to know that you created something that real people actually watch. From there, you can take that feedback into account and keep optimizing your shorts. You can analyze the retention graphs and see where people stopped watching. You can see which shorts were skipped faster than others, and you can keep optimizing and improving more and more. And that's how the experience you gain with YouTube Shorts can be transferred to long-form videos. It's not that the people who watch your shorts will automatically be interested in the long-form content you eventually post. What happens is that your skills will improve as you make these videos, and then you can use everything you've learned to create long-form videos and make them better. But as I said, Shorts is a different platform. So no, you definitely shouldn't expect that the people who watched your Shorts, Evan, if you gain 100,000 subscribers from them, will care about the long-form videos you start making.
What he's saying is that there are a lot of people who focus on long-form videos because with Shorts, you don't have to look at every 1,000 views. Like we see with long-form videos, you have to look at least 10 times more closely. So you have to look at it like this. If your long-form video is getting 1,000 views, you can be sure that depending on the Shorts, it's getting 10,000, 20,000, even 50,000 views. Also, as he mentioned, in the time it takes to make one long-form video, you can make 3, 4, even 5 Shorts. So what I usually do is think that Shorts need to get at least 10 times more views. And I can also do this 3 times, right? So one video with 1,000 views would give me 3 Shorts, each with 10,000 views, totaling 30,000. Then I calculate the RPM, which is the revenue per 1,000 views, both for the long form video and for the Shorts. So when I see 30 cents per 1,000 views on Shorts, I have to take all of this into account, that I'll be able to get first 10 times more views and I can still make 3 videos. So that's 30 times more. It's a bit complex, but in the Shorts video, I explain this calculation better. But there are a lot of people who just look at the numbers, think it's too little, and want to reach 1,000 subscribers in 4,000 hours. Remember that the 4,000 hours for Shorts don't count in this calculation, but the 1,000 subscribers do. So people start posting a lot of Shorts to gain subscribers faster.
The discovery algorithms are completely different. And remember, here we like to replace the word algorithm with audience. Why is the discovery algorithm different on YouTube Shorts? It's because the audience that watches Shorts is a completely different people. People who watch Shorts are in a completely different state of mind when they open the YouTube app. They just want to see something quick, are looking to be entertained fast, and then move on with their day. People who watch long videos are probably sitting down for lunch. They have extra time to really enjoy the content for a longer period and don't want to keep switching videos every 30 seconds for something new. They just want to watch something long, 8 minutes, an hour, and be entertained for the amount of time they've set aside to watch something fun. When you think about the people who are actually watching this type of content, it starts to make sense why those who watch short videos won't necessarily watch long form content. If short videos are something you want to try, but you're thinking, I kind of just want to reuse what I already have and turn it into Shorts, my recommendation is that you reuse the idea, not the actual clip. Think of it this way. If you make a short and it does really well, maybe you'll think, I can make a longer version of this. You can't use the short to make the long video unless we're literally talking about the idea itself, right? You can't stretch a 30-second video into an 8-minute video. The same goes for taking a long video and turning it into a short. You shouldn't just try to cut out the best parts. You should take what made that video good and remake it for the Shorts audience. Reusing ideas is much more effective than simply reusing your own videos. That's all I'm saying. All right, enough about Shorts. Part 3. We need to talk about unedited gameplay. A lot of gaming content creators start out by simply hitting the record button and playing for about 40 minutes. And believe it or not, a lot of people just upload that sometimes or do minimal editing, just adding a quick intro at the beginning, and that's it. This results in incredibly long gameplay videos, apparently unedited, that usually get a few dozen views before disappearing. But it's not necessarily true that just because a video is 40 minutes long, people won't watch it. In fact, we've seen channels making videos over 12 hours long that do very well. Does that mean you should edit less? Not necessarily. There's a difference in the audience being targeted by these types of content. The biggest gaming content creators don't just post long gameplay video. They use the footage they have to tell a story, create tension, and set goal. You need to cut out the boring parts, edit to give it rhythm, and think about what story you're telling with this video. It's not just episode 12 of Minecraft. What's the goal? So, when you're starting out, I would focus on making videos that are actually shorter. The shorter, the better, period.
What's impressive is that I watch videos that are over an hour long, sometimes 2 hours and so on. And the thing is that sometimes the person, that's where creativity and your charisma come in, right? With your personality. So a lot of times the guy is playing, but he's also talking to you, and you, what are you doing? You might be playing too. You might actually be watching him, or you could be doing something else like, I don't know, washing the dishes, having lunch, and then you keep watching. Because while he's playing, he's commenting. I've seen several channels where sometimes they're talking about the game, but sometimes they're talking about something else, about a completely different topic. Like, for example, the guy is playing and he's already giving gaming news, for instance, or the guy is playing and he's giving news about politics, about the economy, or talking about his own life as well. Sometimes he's a more famous guy talking about his daily life, like, oh, because later I'm going to cover such and such event. Oh, I'm going to do an interview with someone famous from Sony, from Nintendo, I don't know. So the guy is talking with you. So when the guy is chatting, giving news and all that, entertaining you, you can make the video longer with minimal editing. Now, if there's a lot of dead time, sometimes the guy stops, goes to the bathroom, comes back, leaves the thing running, and then doesn't even edit it. Then, yes, it gets complicated. That's when you need to edit.
The whole story in a short time is to earn the trust of viewers and your community along the way. But what about this somewhat new trend of ultra-long video? Videos that are 8 hours, 12 hours, 70 hours long? Well, it's important to understand that the audience is completely different, because when creators make videos like that, they're deliberately targeting what we call the second screen audience. These are people who might not be fully engaged with the content, right? They're literally playing RuneScape while your video is playing on the second monitor. Or maybe they just need to clean the house and want something playing in the background, or else.
That's exactly what I said. And another interesting thing as well, since you're seeing HEYGEN and ELEVENLABS here, is that you can take this gameplay, make the necessary edits and so on, and then when you upload it to HEYGEN, you just press a button and you can already easily translate it into whatever language you want. And that's exactly what I use to make my videos. I'll leave the link to HEYGEN here. You just press a button and it will do the translation for you. Even if you don't master the language, right? Even if you don't know a single word, it's really worth it. And with your content, of course, you'll have to translate the thumbnail, the title, and everything else, but you can have more than one monetization. With the work from one channel, you can have your channel in your native language, and then let's suppose your native language is English. Then you can have it in Spanish, German, Japanese, any language, Vietnamese, Mandarin, and so on. So I really recommend HEYGEN.
Watching a long video helps them fall asleep. What they don't want is a playlist of videos with different volumes and varying energy levels. They just want something that stays consistent during the 8 hours they're going to be in bed. Creating this kind of content can be really cool because you get a lot of watch time. People might stop watching in the middle and come back later. However, it's harder to build a community this way because, again, these aren't super engaged viewers. So yes, you can make 8-hour videos, you can make 8-minute videos, and you should keep in mind that you're targeting different audiences with this content. But whether your video is 8 minutes or 8 hours long, you should still follow the same strategy of making something high quality. Cut out anything unnecessary that doesn't need to be in the videos. Focus on achieving a goal so that by the end of the video, the audience has a satisfying conclusion. So if it's an 8-hour video, maybe it's a 100-day challenge that you narrate and turn into a big full gameplay. Or if it's a shorter video, maybe it's just a smaller specific challenge that you'll complete by the end of the 8 minutes. And remember the target audience for that video. Are they people who watch with the video on a second? Maybe you have a bit more freedom to make a longer video, or is it for people who are really sitting down to watch something a challenge they couldn't even imagine doing themselves? Love to see someone try. All right, let's move on to our final section. Let's talk about trend. This is a constant dilemma for creators, and it's not exclusive to YouTube. This can happen on any platform. What's trending, and how can I take part? Taking advantage of trends can be great for your channel, but many creators end up doing it the wrong way. Some creators chase trends just for the sake of it, without any real strategy, while others simply ignore everything. The first problem to solve is, how do you discover these trends in the first place? And to find trends, I strongly recommend starting to look beyond YouTube. If you see several creators talking about a specific game on YouTube and want to jump on the bandwagon, you might already be late. it's very likely that they discovered this game through other means. Many of these trends simply arise from following specific communities. Join different subreddits, Discord servers, keep an eye on social networks like Twitter or Blue Sky, and discover trends just by being involved in the community. This means you might end up betting on something you think will become a trend, and in the end, it doesn't. But that's the risk you take. That's why some creators really blow up, because they got there before everyone else. Another way to find trends is to explore content outside your own niche. Sometimes, things happening on completely different channels can inspire you to think, well, I could do that in a gaming video. And if all of this sounds a bit exhausting, that's because it really is. Betting on trends is challenging, and that's why it can be so important for your channel if you get it right. To make this less difficult, try to avoid the mistake of chasing trends that are popular in general. The things you focus on should still be related to the topics you're interested in and cover on your YouTube channel. In other words, you don't have to talk about absolutely everything that comes up just because it's trending. Choose your trends wisely. Another thing to remember is that following trends doesn't necessarily have to be about the main topic of the video. It can be something as simple as meme sound effects or popular songs that are blowing up. If you've watched gaming videos in recent years, you can probably picture some of the sound effects I'm talking about, the ones every gaming content creator seems to use in their editing now. Try to pay attention and make a note of what these sound effects are called so you can download them and use them in your own content.
Now, something I find really interesting that you can do is this. You choose a main game, the one you'll primarily focus on, stream, create content about, and so on. And you can also, if you like, set aside perhaps one video each week to try out a new game that, of course, fits your style. So if you're playing a shooter game, you can pick one that's just starting out, that people are just beginning to talk about in the communities and so on. And you give it a try, start playing, make a video, make another video, test it out for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and so on, and see if it's gaining traction. Because it could become your next big game, and you'll already be building a community around this test game. Even if it flops, you still have your main game, and you've also gathered a community even if it flopped, because these people like shooter games, so they'll get to know you through this game you tested and then move on to your main game. Then you drop this one and move on to the next until your main game here really stops being played. And then you're already on the lookout for a new main game. Here, it will be a test for the new main game and for you to connect with new people who will strengthen your community. All right? Leave a comment below letting me know what you think. And if you like this type of channel, Rodrigo, how do I download the mind map? Hold on, I haven't forgotten. I'll leave the link in the video description and pinned in the first comment. And just a quick note, okay? I didn't want to charge any fee, all right? But it was taking me 3 or 4 days to send this content via WhatsApp. So what did I do? I put it on a platform, okay? I'm going to add a discount coupon for 99.99% off. You'll see the price there. You'll enter the coupon and it'll end up ridiculously cheap, like around 1 or 2 reais. For those watching from other countries, it'll be less than $1 or about $1 at most, all right? I'll leave the link in the video description and pinned in the first comment. Go there, download it, because this content is worth 50 times more, okay? So it's the price of a little treat, like a piece of candy. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.